you know, that's kind of like my era. It's 1984, Twisted Sister. I mean, you know, unbelievable, right? I mean, that's the way I feel sometimes. In fact, that's the way I feel all the time. When something happens to you, it's like, I'm not going to take it anymore, right? And so, you know, and for anybody that ever served in the military, you have to deal with somebody like me. I mean, I'm like, let's move. Always forward. Okay? Thank you, people. Thank everybody for being here. And what a great day today. You cannot sit here and not get educated. I mean, it is a master's degree. It's a doctorate, right? I mean, it's such a level of education that you get during the course of the day. For all of you that are going to be back here tomorrow, thank you so much. We got a great evening here that we're about to experience with these folks are going to come up there and talk a little bit about how they're going to be doing some baptisms over here. And that's really, it's a powerful, powerful thing. Here's what I want people to understand. That these type of events and what we do here with this Reawaken America tour is to really get into the communities and go to places where people would, you know, where there's a lot of people that would avoid. We've been out to California a couple of times. We went into Oregon. We're going to go back out to the West Coast, up into the Washington State, Idaho area. But we're here because we want people to know that we're not giving up on you, right? We're not giving up on this region. I grew up in New England. I grew up in the state of Rhode Island, only a couple hours from here. You know, and I know our country. I know the way that our country is segmented right now. And your pastor is right. Pastor Paul's right. I mean, there's so much going on. But what we have to understand is that those of us, guys like me, or people like me, we're going to come in and we're going to touch you. And we're going to remind you, and we're going to teach you, and we're going to say things to you. But it's really up to you. For those of you that were here this morning and heard me say, we do not have all the answers. I do not have all the answers, or we're going to make mistakes as we go along this path. And is this an awakening in the biblical sense? Is this a spiritual awakening? You bet it is. I mean, there is a spiritual war and there is a political war. And they are going on. They're going on in this country right now. You know, God actually didn't choose America. God chose Israel. America chose God. And I think that we have to remember that. And we have to remember that because, so what we have to do is we have to reawaken ourselves. We have to figure out what it is that we want as Americans. I know what I want. Right? I know what I want. And most of the things that I want are what I deal with 50 feet from my door. Right? Freedom, I want my safety, I want my security. I want to be left alone. I want to be able to do the things that I want to be able to do. I served this country for nearly 3.5 decades. Many overseas. And I have absolutely seen the worst in corruption. The worst. I've seen the worst of humanity. Absolute worst of humanity. I have witnessed the sacrifice of young men, principally young men, but young men and women. Great sacrifice. What Abraham Lincoln said, the last true measure of devotion. Right, in the cause of the nation. Right, where somebody who's a kid, 18, 19-year-old kid, signs on the dotted line, goes to a recruiter. There's people in here that went to a recruiter and joined up. Right, you joined up because you figured, I'm going to get out of my town, I'm going to go get some training, I'm going to go do something. And what most young people don't know, and not even the parents know, is when you sign on that dotted line, you're signing to give your very life for this country. Okay? Millions of people over the history of time, and thousands of Americans have sacrificed their lives for us to be able to sit in this tent tonight, right now. And we cannot just, go home on Sunday or Monday or whenever you head back home from this event and just go, well, that was wonderful, it was a great thing, a bunch of cheerleaders up there. No. You have to decide what it is that you are going to do. And you got to decide to do something. Okay, your life, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to convince you to decide that your life is going to take a different path. That's what we're trying to get you to do. I mean, a week ago I signed up to be a precinct committeeman in my county. I mean, why? Because when I looked at the precinct committeeman volunteers, it's a volunteer thing. When I looked it up, I'm like, well, how many people do we have volunteers? This is where I live. So I gotta put my sort of, my words to action, right? Local action, national impact. So I go sign up. You know what it's going to take? It's going to take a couple of meetings. Trust me, when I go into those meetings, I'm not a wallflower. So, but that's important. It's important. It's important for us to decide how to get involved. How to get involved. Take the talent, take the skill. Figure it out. Because we will depart from New York 24, 48 hours from now. And believe me, I mean, we're talking about this all the time. Boy, I hope, and honestly, we have 3,000 people in here today. If that's all I want is one person to make the decision, and I am going to go and I'm going to crash through life now. I'm going to go take something on that I never took on before. And the whole time I've been standing up here, I got my toes over the edge of this stage. Right now. Purposely. And the message is, this is where our nation is. We are at the edge. And my toes have been at the edge of this stage the whole time I've been standing up here for the last 5 minutes. Okay, some of our country, and you just hit on it, Pastor, some of our country is already down into the abyss. Parts of our country are in the abyss. But not all of it. But our country is at this edge. Everybody knows it, everybody can feel it. And we're watching it, or we're witnessing it. Right? I was never somebody that would allow myself to sit still for 2 seconds. Right? Get up, get involved, get knocked down, get back up, get knocked down again, get back up again. Okay? Until they bury me. Until they bury me. And I want your attitude to change. That's part of what we're trying to do here. Change about what you believe, how you believe, how strong is your faith. Maybe that's the attitude adjustment that you have. Or maybe it's something about your community, whatever community you come from. Because we have people in here today, we had people in here from really all over the country, which is amazing. And it's a nice thank you from us for people to show up like that. But you have to decide what you are going to do. I can't decide that for you. We can show you things, we can teach you things, we can tell you things, and we can try to motivate you a little bit. We can try to say to you, look, our country is at risk. It always is. Freedom is not free, right? That's the phrase. Freedom is not free. So for us to back away, for us to be able to back away from that precipice, that cliff, the only way that we're going to be able to do that is when tens of millions of people in this country decide to change their attitude about what they were doing yesterday and say, I'm going to do something and I'm going to get involved tomorrow. I'm going to get involved tomorrow. You can do that. You can make that decision. And that's my ask. That's my plea to every American in this country. Everybody. I know what an ugly situation can be. And trust me, we don't want to be in those situations. We don't want to have that kind of an existence. And when you find, and I'll finish with this because I don't know how many people are remaining in here that are first generation immigrants. Any first generation immigrants in here? First generation. Yep, be proud of it. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing. Right? So thank you. There you go, way back there. And it's like when you're overseas, and I've been to 6 continents, when you're overseas and, sometimes you go over to like the embassies, there's nobody hanging around other embassies. You know where they're all hanging around? The U.S. Embassy, overseas, in all these nations' capitals. There's people lined up And the first time that I experienced that, I went over and I started to talk to some of the people because they wanted to talk to somebody because they're trying to learn English. And you say to yourself, oh my God, you know it. They have these embassy rows. It's really fascinating. Embassy rows in many countries. There's no people trying to bang down the doors of some embassy somewhere else around the world. They're coming here because this is the last bastion of freedom. Okay, this is sort of freedom's frontier is it. We have Canadians in here. Some Canadians in here that I met. Canada? So Canada is like, I mean, I'm almost off the edge here. You know, and I'm serious. We had that conversation. So, like I said local action, national impact, stand up, step up, speak up, get involved, do something different. Your path, our destiny as a country will only be decided upon by you, by what you decide to do, not what you've been doing, but what you will do in the future. So, get ready for those that are going to be baptized tonight. I'm going to turn it back over to my great friend Clay Clark. God bless you all. Thank you.
Let's hear for General Flynn. Yes. All right. Probably quick update. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, there's a meet and greet. There's going to be baptisms, and I hope this event will be life-changing for you because nothing changes your life more than getting right with God, putting our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ first in your life. And so here to share with you about tonight's festivities and to really share with you about how God can change your life is Pastor Dave Scarlett and Amanda Gray.